"Game on, brother," she whispered to the empty road. The words were a puff of vapor in the biting wind, a promise made to the fading taillights that had just abandoned her. The heavy iron gates of the Wilderness Correction Camp groaned as they slid open. It was a sound like a dying animal. She stood on the other side of the perimeter, the wind whipping sand and grit against her cheeks. Her skin felt too tight for her face. Her eyes were dry. The warden, a man with a neck as thick as a tree stump, tossed a clear plastic bag onto the dirt at her feet. "Good luck, 402, he grunted. He didn't use her name. She hadn't heard her name spoken with anything other than disdain for 3 years. She bent down. Her movements were stiff, calculated, like a machine that hadn't been oiled. She snatched the bag before the wind could take it. A black stretch Lincoln Navigator appeared on the horizon, cutting through the dust clouds. It looked like a hearse. It stopped exactly 3 meters away. She walked toward the car. Every step was a negotiation with her body. She slid into the back seat. The door thudded shut, sealing her in a vacuum of silence and expensive leather. The air in the car smelled of sandalwood and conditioned air. It made Clarissa's stomach turn. She was used to the smell of bleach and unwashed bodies. 3 years, he said, his voice muffled by the silk. "I thought you would have learned some hygiene, at least taken a shower." Clarissa stared straight ahead. Her eyes were unfocused, looking at the partition between them and the driver. She said nothing. The sound was sharp in the quiet cabin. "Cat got your tongue. Mom and Dad are waiting for an apology." "An apology?" Her voice was raspy, unused. "For what?" "Then you should definitely celebrate my return," she whispered. "I have so much to tell them." He looked genuinely surprised. Then his expression hardened into a sneer. "For almost ruining Kaleigh, for the drugs, for being a public relations nightmare." "Stop the car," he barked. The brakes engaged hard. Clarissa's body flew forward. Her chest slammed into the back of the front seat. "If you're going to be a bitch, you can walk," he said. "Maybe the rain will wash the stink off you." Clarissa looked out the window. The sky was bruising purple and black. A storm was coming. Clarissa reached for the handle. She pushed the door open. The wind howled, rushing into the sanitized cabin like a physical intruder. Brady looked stunned. He had expected her to grab his arm, to plead, to be the dramatic, emotional mess she used to be. Brady looked stunned. He had expected her to grab his arm, to plead, to be the dramatic, emotional mess she used to be. The sky cracked open. There was no preamble, no gentle drizzle. It fell in sheets, heavy and cold. Within seconds, Clarissa's gray hoodie was soaked through, clinging to her skeletal frame like a second skin. Her left foot slid. It went down into a drainage ditch hidden by the overgrown grass. She looked down. Her ankle was already swelling, pushing against the fabric of her cheap sneaker. She tried to put weight on it. White spots danced in her vision. She fell back down, the cold mud seeping into her pants. The rear window rolled down halfway. A face appeared. "Get in," Ambrose said. Ambrose Montgomery looked out at the shivering heap of rags on the side of the road. Clarissa shook her head. She wouldn't take his charity. She chose survival, so she got in the car.